Hello and welcome. Today we've got Delora O'Brien, and we will be discussing Joe Biden, the 58 House Democrats who never attended Texas, and also Bill Barr and the lightning strike that completely demolished the George Floyd art, which a lot of people are saying was it God's work. Now, just before we begin, you can subscribe to my Telegram channel and to nicholasvaniarmin.com for my free email updates. And I will also, if you're watching this for the first time on YouTube, I will leave the link below in the description for the full interview. And I will also leave Delora O'Brien's links below so you can follow her too. Delora, thank you for joining me. How are you and what's been happening?
Good. How are you, Nick? I always love to see your smiling, gorgeous face.
I'm fantastic. You know, I'm incredible, how Donald Trump likes to say.
Huge. It's huge.
Oh, it's huge. You know.
No, Y-U-G-E. Huge.
Oh, huge.
That's what he says. New York. Huge.
Huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how are you and what's been happening and where do we begin with all this new intel?
I'm great. Let me just start. And I know once we begin, we'll just kind of roll along. Everybody tells me when I'm on your show, you talk more than you ever do with anyone else. This is what I do to people.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a good thing. It's a good thing. You smile, you laugh. I do. I get emails about it. It's very
bless
interesting.
You. No, that's really sweet. Thank you.
It is. Yeah. Because you have a lot to say. And I don't think anyone realizes it. And one of these days, I'm going to get you on my show. We want to know about you, Nick.
Well, it's not about me. This is about, you know, I know what you mean, but I'm in this because of, you know, the truth and taking over mainstream media and delivering the information to we the people, you know, because...
You know, you're a human being, part of the human race on this planet. And people, they ask me, I'm not exaggerating. I mean, I get a lot of emails after this show. What's Nick like? What is he? Is he this? Is he that? You know, it's just very interesting. You're like this secret man. You're like 107, but you show your face.
And ask the questions. Wow. Well, I think I think it's still early on. I think maybe in the future, you know, but right now we have a mission. We're in a war, and I love what I'm doing, and I'm learning, and the viewers are learning. It's education, and
you're excellent. You are excellent at what you do.
Well, thank you very much. I know, I really appreciate that. It just comes from the heart. It comes from the heart.
It comes from the heart. Yes,
from the heart.
The heart. You know, when I get off here, When I get off here, I break out into a British accent, and I don't mean to. I'll be talking, and all of a sudden I'll say, "Oh, how are you doing?" And then it just comes out. It's a very funny thing. Anyway.
Go on. I'm going to let you start.
Okay. Let me go. All right. I just got a bunch of stuff. Let me just go through it.
Oh, you go into it. You just, yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, cool. Okay. Let me tell you what bothers me. Okay, and I'm going to go into this right away. People in Texas are awesome people. They've always been a bit rebellious. You know, they're ready to break away from the United States Union, and they've always led the way in this. It seems like they're forerunners. Now, it's not like the rest of the states aren't. I mean, Florida's awesome, Arizona, they're all awesome. I mean, you know, I don't live in Texas, but Texas, for some reason, always is there on the forefront, and they push. And I'll tell you what I found very interesting. I saw a picture of, there was two sides of a picture, and one side had 58 Democrat Texas state House members in an airplane flying on a way away from Texas on vacation on the taxpayers' dollar, no face coverings. And then next to it was a picture of average Joes like us that fly. And they all had face coverings on. So I looked into it further. I wanted to know what that was about. And this is what I discovered, and I verified it many, many places. And I'm sure some of your viewers know it. 58 Democrat, they went on vacation, Texas state House members, fled the state And what they did is they fled to break quorum to prevent a vote from happening that would end 24-hour polling, ban ballot box drop boxes, and allow poll watchers from both sides of the aisle. And now all those people that went on vacation are saying that the reason they did it is because they had to do this because of the voter suppression tactics that are happening. Now, I don't know about you, but 24-hour voting in wanting to get rid of that is not voter suppression. If you want to vote, you go between 7 and 7. Not having ballot boxes. Look, my parents were immigrants. They came here. It was a privilege. I'm first generation Italian American. It was a privilege for them to go to the voting booth and go in and give their vote. That was very, very important to them. And they did it within the time. When my father came home from work, he went out and voted. He didn't have something you filled out at home. You got an email, you fill it out. You can print out 10 of them, put 10 of them in a ballot box. So they're trying to stop that. Well, according to Laura Ingraham on Fox News, she said once they step back into the state of Texas, remember they're vacationing on the taxpayers' dime, they will be arrested and brought to the Capitol. Also, they might be going to jail.
Right.
That's what's happening. These people are now, they know the panic is real. The panic is real.
So who actually said that they will be arrested and brought to the
Laura Ingraham said it on I'm sorry, I'm going to hear things here. I may have to close down.
It's okay.
Laura Ingraham said it on Fox News. I'm sorry, I'm getting you back. Said it on Fox News. And she said that the governor and the Republican that are in the House members are filing suits against these people, the Democrats that have left town and left them with no quorum. What I mean by that is there's not even enough people now to vote on this. They need a certain amount of people to even have a quorum, and they don't have it, and they knew it, and they deliberately left town. But so they're all on vacation, and they're not where they're supposed to be, where they were voted in to be. So I would suggest anybody in Texas, go look up who these people are and get these babies out.
But do you know what's very interesting? That the Fox News reporter, she confirmed that they will be brought to the Capitol. Now, if they're arrested and brought to the Capitol, then that's a very clear indication that the Capitol could be used for tribunals.
Yes. Now, understand, she did not verify if it's the Texas Capitol or if it's the DC Capitol. I don't know. I can't even, I can't even speculate. But that's what's going on. And to think that these people have been voted to show up, be there, on behalf of their constituents, and they decide to take a vacation. It's very interesting to me.
It doesn't surprise me. It's complete deep state mentality, isn't it? It
is.
Doing whatever they want. They think
not my way, no way.
Yep, they think they're above the law, and they treat the people like scum.
That's right. That's right. And for years, and I know probably a lot of your viewers are hip, you know what I mean? So a lot of you probably know this, but the deep state's rhetoric flipped what actually was true. And I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. Actually, I come from JFK Democrats. That my whole family was that. So I'm an independent. I vote for the person, I don't vote party. But what is interesting is the Republican Party are the ones that freed the slaves. Abraham Lincoln was a Republican. They're the ones that, if you go through history, the Democrats are the ones that are part of the deep state, except for the Bushes and people like that, who are also part of the deep state. But they're the ones that they wanted to stop all civil law for voting, Black voting, women's rights, always was the left and those on the right that were rhinos that were playing that they were with Republicans, and all they were moles and infiltrating, the deep state infiltrating. And so this is normal. This is not anything different that has happened all of a sudden, these people. No, this has been going on for years and decades. So yeah, that's what's going on in Texas. I hope they throw them all in jail.
Absolutely. Well, it was announced on Fox News, and that's huge, to be arrested and be brought to the Capitol. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah, it is huge. It is huge. And they're trying to get Laura Ingraham off now because she's breaking a lot of this stuff. I mean, I don't watch Fox News, but I got it everywhere.
From 6th of January to them being arrested, and it's being announced on Fox News. Can you see? I mean, that is a big shift.
It is a big shift, but interesting today. I want to get this. Now, this has been everywhere. I verified it through a lot of people I trust. Let me say that. And this, I've been waiting for this day, and I was excited I was coming on your show. July 15th, okay? Nisara and Jasara, today, the implementation begins.
And how apparently, do we know this?
Justice Roberts was supposedly arrested on July 7th and taken out. Now, no one can find him. I have friends in DC. I get some of this stuff from. I have 3 different friends. One's a former government guy. And, I haven't verified it with him. I verified it with one of my other friends that said there was a big thing that went on the 7th in DC. And now with everybody saying Roberts got arrested on the 7th, it's interesting that they had to get him arrested apparently before July 15th. And this date has been locked in as the beginning of the implementation of Nisara Jasara, apparently for months.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, very interesting.
Right.
Another thing I find very funny and very interesting. Wow, I've got a bunch of stuff here. Fake 46. I can't even say his name. I can't even say it. Fake 46. Okay, he had a video.
I don't blame you.
Can you tell how I feel? Oh, I can't even.
I think we all feel like that.
So there was a video up on AOL, okay? And understand the industry, the Hollywood industry and film industry and acting industry, and that's my business. I can find a green screen like that. I mean, after a while, you just get to know it. Well, I started laughing. Nick, I had literally, I almost fell on the floor laughing. I couldn't believe they put it out, the panic that is happening. He was up on AOL, and I went to post it in groups and on Facebook, and I went everywhere trying to get this up, and they're blocking it like crazy. So I know what I'm saying is true. It was a video with Fake 46 trying to get all, strong and being, just being strong and coming out there and saying what he feels like. And it looked absurd. And it was a green screen behind him. And it was about voter discrepancies and how Trump is lying.
Right.
There's nothing going on with voter discrepancies at all. Mm-hmm. That he's a poor loser and this and that. And so right after it, your audience has to go see this. Right after he says it, you hear, stop. It's so obviously a clap track.
Right.
That it's, and no one's there. You see no one. You see his head like this. It's pitiful. It's pitiful. And on that same note, you want me to keep going?
Oh yeah.
Got some great stuff. I investigated into this. There's 3 countries that have refused the lollipop anywhere. The lollipop, this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This thing, they've refused it. They don't want it. And the three countries, it's interesting, three small countries, Madagascar, Tanzania, and Haiti. I find it very peculiar. I can't prove this, but I find it very peculiar that the president of Madagascar and the president of Tanzania both were found dead in March of this year. And just now, Jovenel Moise of Haiti, who is the president, they just found murdered. So the three presidents that refused to allow that to their people are no longer with us on this side of heaven.
Right.
Crazy.
It's very crazy. It's very crazy. So this is what makes me think, is the deep state a little bit, are a bit of the deep state still in charge? Are the white hats in charge and this is all staged? Because I think that it's a bit of both.
I do too.
I think it's deep state minions, but I think the head of the snake has been chopped off.
Yeah.
I think that Trump is in control operationally.
Yes.
But he's letting the minions play out their tricks so that they can be exposed.
I have an analogy. They always say that Trump is playing 3D or 5D chess. And I play chess. Haven't played in many years. Wasn't good at all. But I know the game. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. I've got things happening over here. And what I've realized is when people say, well, things are still happening. Look, you can take out every chess player, every chess piece. You can take out the rook and you can take out the knight and you can take out all the chess pieces except for the main one. And the pawns will still play.
Yeah.
That's what's happening here. When you said the minions, that's the analogy, is that, I know a lot of the big, a lot of the 13 families are taken down. I know a lot of that is going on, but there are soldiers that are still working behind the scenes. And, it's an interesting thing. They really believe they're doing right, but they don't have the living God within them. And they're not on, you're either, at this point, there's no gray, Nick. It's either black or white. You're either good or evil. There is no in between. It's like pick a side. And when you do finally pick a side and you give it everything you've got, like we're doing, you realize that there are still little guys running around and girls, mm-hmm. or whatever they are, whatever being they are, that are still doing their dirty deeds.
Absolutely. So we know that Black Lives Matter is critical race theory, that the deep state, Democrats, radical left, whatever you want to call them, they are pushing this propaganda, using, black people to manipulate them, to cause division. And they thought that they could create this voting thing, to take the black vote. And then George Floyd was unfortunately orchestrated by the deep state. It was all planned to create riots and loots and division. And then there was a big picture, an artwork on the wall.
In Toledo, Ohio.
Absolutely. And then there was a light strike. There was a strike. There was a lightning strike.
Right.
On the my words won't come out today. on the painting.
Yes.
On the wall. And you just think that's a natural thing from God.
Well, people saw, they were trying to say that it was vandalized, but people actually saw the lightning strike it. And what I find very fascinating is that the mural of someone else to the left of George Floyd's mural and the flowers mural that was to the right of George Floyd's mural are completely intact.
Wow.
it struck George Floyd. And my feeling is, George Floyd, if you are still alive, you better seek cover somewhere, because for God himself to come down and do that and actually, or give an order to have that happen, listen, that is not by chance. And what was even more crazy, Nick, is the bar that had all bricks behind the mural was one layer of bricks that George Floyd's mural was on. The bricks behind weren't touched. Nothing was touched. Nothing, everything is in place.
Wow. Well, it was perfectly targeted at that. And it was a natural, it was a natural thing from God.
Yes, absolutely.
It was a weather thing, it's amazing.
Yeah. And, I always remember 107, and I loved when he would talk about this right out of the Bible, because God did this once already, is he his handwriting on the wall. It obviously, well, maybe not obviously, he's going to come down and write on a wall. I don't know. But to me, this is that.
Yes.
This is the handwriting on the wall. So, and it's going to happen more and more.
I think if George Floyd is alive, he can choose the good side, go to the white hats and tell them exactly what's happened.
That's right.
And he will be flipped into a very big patriot if he did that.
Yeah. I personally, I believe he's alive. I think it was all a setup, and he's got to be seeing this. I don't know if he's disguised, if they change his face, if he's in a witness protection program, I don't know. But he's got to be aware, and his family, of this. And this is not anything light. That is direct.
But if he chose to come out and tell the truth to the people.
Yeah.
But before he did that, he sought protection from the white hats.
Yes.
I think he will have all the protection needed in order for him to do that.
I think he'd have more protection than he's having now. I
definitely agree. Because then he would need more protection, because then his life would be at threat from the deep state.
Yeah, and the military, there are some rogue military, just are there rogue and everything. But most of the military is on the side of the commander-in-chief, who is Donald Trump. So he would have more protection if he did that. And maybe, God willing, he'll see this show or other shows that are speaking about this and have him go and do that, because this is just the beginning. That is to me, that is a foretaste. That is the appetizer. This is an appetizer of what God's going to do, because God's not playing. Mm-hmm. He's not playing. He won already. And it's like, on with it already. He needs to get things going. He needs to get humanitarians in place. He needs to be sure that this never happens again.
Absolutely. Now let's move on to Bill Barr.
Yeah. Okay. Let me tell you about Bill Barr. Bill Barr's father is Donald Barr. And he was obviously the father of Attorney General Bill Barr that worked with President Trump for quite a while. Donald Barr was the headmaster of Dalton School in New York City. In 1974, he hired Jeffrey Epstein to work as a math teacher in that school. Now, why is that? What's the big deal about that? Well, the big deal is, number one, Jeffrey Epstein was not a teacher. He was 20 years old and didn't have a degree. And the Dalton School was a very prestigious school in New York City. Epstein dropped out of New York's Cooper Union College at 20 years old. And he was 20 at the time and hired by Donald Barr, Bill Barr's father. what is even more interesting is that Donald Barr wrote a fictitious novel a few years later about children being trafficked into sex slavery. Now, this is what Bill Barr comes out of.
Right. Of course, yeah. And then Bill Barr also, he's worked, he's worked with the Clintons and the deep state for years and years. He's got a long track record.
Absolutely. And look, all of these people, if you want to go back and go back and go back and go back, if you want to say, well, who's at the top of this pyramid? To me, there are two. There is really one, but Nick, this isn't something I'm learning from books now. And you know this, I've said this before, I've been down this rabbit hole when the rabbit hole didn't exist. That rabbit hole term didn't exist. We were just fringe lunatics, and I didn't say a lot then because this is like 30 years. I know what's going on. And if you want to go back, you can trace Donald Barr either back to one of two places, Freemasonry or the Jesuits. So those are the two that start at the top and then it all trickles down from there. Now you say the Jesuits, so Catholics. No. The Catholic people, it's like the FBI. When corrupt James Comey was at the top of the FBI, the rank and file of the FBI were good people. These are good people. They don't know what's going on. A lot of the people that were working in Georgia and Nevada and Arizona and Pennsylvania, and they're not all corrupt that worked in the polls. So it's the same thing with Catholics. I'm not saying Catholics are corrupt, or I'm not saying any of that. What I'm saying is there are people at the top, the Jesuits and the Pope. That's why there's a whole thing about the Black Pope. These people have been lying and been using their flock, so to speak, for 100 years. And Catholics are starting to wake up now. They're really, because that was my background. I grew up a Catholic, and they're starting to wake up and realize, wait a second, there's a lot of corruption going on. The Vatican is closed. You can't go in and visit. The Pope's, where is he? The Queen is off somewhere. Buckingham Palace is closed. These people were at the top of the pyramid. And, David Icke, I always remember when he's been down this with me, and I used to watch some of his stuff right at the beginning of the internet. And he would come out and he would say, look, you're not going to tell me what I saw. I saw the Queen shapeshift right before my eyes, from the Queen to a reptile and back, because she got angry at something and it was a split second, and no one believed it. And I was like, I kind of do. I got 1 foot in, 1 foot out, because I knew what was going on. Now, Prophet Robin Bullock, who is a mega name in the Christian world right now, prophet at the level of like a Kim Clement, him, Hank Kuhneman, Kent Christmas, Mario Murillo, these people now are all speaking about this. And Robin Bullock came out, and this is incredible, fascinating. He came out, he was watching a speech, this is last week, of Fake 46. And he started talking about the spirit of the serpent. And right from the beginning of the Bible, where he beguiled Eve and the whole thing. And the serpent eye is a slit that is vertical. That's a serpent's eye. And he was talking all about the spirit of the serpent. And he showed a video of Fake 46 in a speech. And for a split second, it went to a serpent vertical eye, and he did a close-up and he froze it. Now, this is coming out of mainstream Christianity, what David Icke professed 30 years ago. It's explosive what's going on. They're being they're just being exposed everywhere. And I can literally feel the panic, Nick.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Absolutely. He's definitely, he's spoken a lot of truth. Absolutely. David, like I've been listening to him for many years, actually, over 10 years. I've been listening to him.
You have. You have.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You should get him on your show.
I actually spoke to his son, so his son's arranging it. So
really,
I'm just waiting to hear.
Wow,
I've been busy in the last week or so, so I'm just waiting.
And the tide has turned. Same thing with me. People that I exposed 5, 6, 7 years ago, and again like 4 years ago, major Christian mega pastors from way back, and even recently, more recent ones. I exposed them in a private group, especially one. I lost so many friends. I can't even tell you the names I was called. I was called, "You're Satan." I mean, it was incredible. And now what's happening, it's happening to me on a smaller scale. What's happening to David Icke on a larger scale.
Absolutely. To all of us. Yeah. I mean, things are turning around.
Vindication.
And I still think that this is still the beginning. This is still the beginning.
Yeah, we're in very, very small. It seems like a lot, but if you can't see the mountain ahead of you and you only see 10 feet in front of you, and it's like this, you can't see that there's this. You know what I'm saying? We're on a journey, and I still think there's going to be shocks that are going to reverberate across this world that people are just not going to be ready for.
Well, I think just even the audits coming out, okay, just the audits coming out alone, showing that Biden is an illegitimate president.
Absolutely.
That is enough.
Yeah, but Nick, I don't think they're going to, in just my gut, what do I know? You know what I mean? But I don't think they're going to wait. I think, like I said last time, Kim Clement had prophesied that in Scottsdale, Arizona, that there would be a two-term, the president, Trump would be a two-term president. But I think Arizona is going to come out, but I don't think we have the time to wait. I think once Arizona comes out, maybe one more, they're going to have to do something, because they're going to hold it up. Every way they turn, there's going to be a block and a stopgap, and they're going to do everything they can. Look what they're doing in Texas. They're on vacation to stop a quorum.
They can run. Yeah, they can run, but they can't hide. There's just so much they can do. That's so much,
That's right.
How long can they delay it for? Really?
They can't. And now they're going back in the state, and they're probably going to get arrested.
Exactly. Because it's a joke delaying it. It's Mickey Mouse. It is. Donald Trump's not going to allow that. There has to be a window there.
Now, did you hear? I may have heard it wrong, but Juan, and I don't remember where it was, said we are nearing the 80% mark. Did you hear that?
He said that we have to be at 80%. Yeah. And then some people say around 62%.
Okay. I thought I heard him just the other day say we're nearing 80, but I could be wrong. I don't.
Yeah.
So
I think he did say something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're definitely close. And, after that it happens, our job is just beginning.
Oh, yeah.
People are going to need this more than now.
To be honest as well, you're right. And I'm also curious to see how wonderful this world is going to become. I want to see that. Because
what a time to be alive, Nick.
Yeah.
What a time to be alive.
I want to start seeing people's lives get better and better. For an example, the RV, the humanitarian projects, the debt forgiveness, the more extra time that we will have to spend with our families, the honesty and integrity in elections and the stock markets without them being manipulated. I want to see these changes so that people's lives get better,
And, they think we've been programmed to think you work a 40-hour week, you work 5 days a week, you have to pay up to 40% taxes. depending on where you are in your income bracket. You have to do this. You have to have insurance. You have to, do this. All of these stipulations, you pay income tax. These are enslavement tools, and they're going to be gone.
Oh yeah. I mean, the government has no right to be in partnership with every single citizen in the world. Because when you take 20, 30, 40% off their income, that's a partnership. And you're basically working for them. And they're in partnership with every single person. And not only that, but they want to tax us. Then we pay VAT, value added tax. You buy a house, you pay tax on that, or you pay stamp duty here in the UK, you pay council tax, you pay, everything is tax, road tax, everything. It's the
I'll tell you what's interesting, and I almost forgot. I can't say who, but just, you got to trust me on this one.
Okay.
A lot of people heard this person say it, so it's not just me that's going to say this, but someone that I know of, I heard him say it, was on the phone, got an audio. Let me start from the beginning, because I wasn't planning on saying this. A friend of someone I know was on the phone with the IRS in the United States, and he taped the conversation. And the person, this is 2 days ago, and the person played it back for his friend who relayed the information and said that the audio with the IRS person, his friend asked, this is going to be pretty much over soon once the quantum financial system kicks in completely. And the person at the IRS said, you're absolutely correct. That's about to happen, and it's going to be the worst thing that ever happened to this country.
Is that what he thinks, the worst?
That's what the IRS, that's what the person at the IRS said. Because they're being brainwashed.
Well,
they're going to lose their job. They're going to lose, you know what I'm saying?
So they're being brainwashed. They're being brainwashed. I can see it, how they're being brainwashed. That's why I'm like, yeah. Yeah, exactly. So they're being told, you're going to lose your job. You're going to lose your insurance for your family. And Trump is behind this. And he's the bad guy.
Yeah. And so he's got that on audio that the IRS person actually admitted. We're right there. That's why I think today everybody's saying July 15th. I think this is true. It's the implementation of the SARA JSARA.
Wow. That's going to be amazing. Well, Delora, it's been absolutely amazing having you on, like always. And with Joe Dingle, unfortunately, he couldn't make it this time, but maybe next time.
Yes, definitely.
Anything else that you'd like to say to the viewers before?
I appreciate you, Nick. I think you're an absolute doll face. And like, I wish I had a daughter for you. I say it all the time. I don't. They're all gone. But you never know. Anyway, if people would go to my channel, it's DeloraO'Brien.com. My website, DeloraO'Brien.com. Sign up, put their name in and their email address, and they'll be on my mailing list. They'll find out when I go on, and they'll get a email for our gathering prayer call on Sunday night, which is international now, and getting a lot of feedback that's just amazing. And also, if they would go to my YouTube channel and subscribe, Delora O'Brien, The Gathering, and my Telegram channel, which is DD Gathering or Delora O'Brien.
Absolutely. Thank you. If you send me that via email, I would gladly put it in the description below so that people can
Thank you,
follow
Nick.
you as well. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have a wonderful time. I remember we're going to all celebrate, a bunch of us, with champagne once this is done.
Oh yeah, in Mar-a-Lago. I'll meet you at the
bar. And you're going to interview Trump.
Yeah. Well, guys,
God bless you, my friend.
Delora, thank you so much. And we'll speak again very soon. God bless you.
Absolutely. God bless you. I'll send that over. Bye.
Bye.